Tonight, 10 dinners packed with fiber, and not one of them tastes like health food. Old-fashioned soups, loaded potatoes, real comfort cooking that keeps you full for hours. And number 8 is a pie. Yes, a pie for dinner, and it earns its place on this list. Let's get cooking. Number 1, split pea soup with ham. If there's a soup that tastes like somebody's kitchen from 50 years ago, it's this one. Thick, smoky, and made from one of the cheapest bags in the whole store. Here's what you need. 1 pound of dried split peas, a cup of diced ham or a ham steak cut into cubes, 1 onion, 2 carrots, and a stalk of celery, all diced, a bay leaf if you have one, and about 6 cups of water or broth. Now here's the good news about split peas. No soaking. None. Rinse them, pick out any little stones, and they're ready to go. Put everything into a large pot. Bring it to a boil, then turn it down to a gentle simmer. Lid on, mostly. Leave a little crack for the steam.
Now let it go for about an hour, stirring once in a while so nothing settles on the bottom. And watch what happens along the way. The peas break down all by themselves. No blender, no mashing, no extra work. They melt into a thick, creamy soup on their own schedule. When a spoon can stand up in it for a second before falling, it's done. Fish out the bay leaf. Taste it before you salt it. The ham usually brings enough. Split peas are one of the highest fiber foods in the entire store. And fiber is what keeps a meal with you for hours instead of minutes. No ham? Use smoked sausage, or skip the meat and add a bouillon cube. It reheats beautifully, and it gets even thicker overnight. Just add a splash of water tomorrow, and it comes right back. 1 bag of peas, and supper is handled for days. Number 2, loaded baked potato with broccoli and cheese. A baked potato gets treated like a side dish. Load it right, and it's the whole dinner.
Wash 2 medium potatoes well because the skins are staying on. And here's why that matters. Most of a potato's fiber lives right there in the skin. Toss the skin, and you toss the best part. Pierce each potato a few times with a fork. Into a 400-degree oven about 50 minutes until the centers give soft. Short on time, the microwave gets it done in a fraction, and the potato doesn't hold a grudge. While they bake, cut a crown of broccoli into small florets. Steam them a few minutes, just until tender. Small florets matter here. They're easier to eat, and they tuck into the potato instead of rolling off it. Now a simple cheese sauce. Melt a tablespoon of butter in a small pot. Stir in a tablespoon of flour. Let it cook a minute. Slowly pour in a cup of milk, whisking until it's smooth and thickened. Stir in a big handful of shredded cheddar. That's it. Real cheese sauce. 5 minutes. Slice the potatoes open and fluff the insides with a fork. Watch that steam rise.
Pile on the broccoli. Pour that cheese sauce right over the top. A little black pepper to finish. The potato is soft, the broccoli still has a little life in it, and the cheese ties the whole plate together. Between the skin, the flesh, and the broccoli, this humble plate quietly out-fibers most dinners twice its price. Comfort food, doing honest work. Number 3, 3-bean salad. If you've ever been to a church supper or a family potluck, you've met this one. It sat next to every casserole in America for decades, and it never went out of style in my kitchen. And there's no cooking. None at all. Open 3 cans. 1 can of green beans, 1 can of kidney beans, 1 can of garbanzo beans, or yellow wax beans if that's what your store carries. Drain them all and rinse the kidney and garbanzo beans. Into a large bowl they go. Add half a red onion, sliced thin. Now the dressing, and it's the old-fashioned kind. 1/3 of a cup of vinegar, 1/4 cup of oil, 2 spoonfuls of sugar,
a little salt and black pepper. Whisk it together and pour it over the beans. Stir it gentle, cover the bowl, and here's the only hard part. Into the refrigerator it goes, for at least 2 hours. Overnight is even better. That resting time is the whole recipe. The beans drink up the sweet and sour dressing, the onion mellows, and the flavors settle in together. 3 kinds of beans in one bowl means fiber 3 different ways. And beans are about the cheapest fiber money can buy. This salad keeps in the refrigerator for a week, and it only improves. A scoop next to a sandwich, a bowl on a hot evening, a dish to carry to a potluck. It shows up ready every single time. Number 4. Whole wheat spaghetti with chunky vegetable meat sauce. Spaghetti night doesn't need to change, it just needs one quiet swap. Whole wheat spaghetti instead of white. Here's the honest truth about that swap. White pasta had its fiber polished away at the factory. Whole wheat pasta kept it. Same fork, same twirl, more staying power. Start the sauce first. Brown half a pound of ground turkey in a large pot. Add 1 diced onion, 1 carrot diced small, and half a bell pepper. Let the vegetables soften right in with the meat, about 5 minutes. The carrot is the quiet trick here. Diced small, it melts into the sauce, adds a little sweetness, and nobody ever spots it. Pour in 1 can of crushed tomatoes and 1 can of diced tomatoes with the juice. Italian seasoning, garlic powder, black pepper, and a pinch of sugar if the tomato bites back. Let it simmer gently, 20 minutes, while the pasta water comes to a boil. Cook the whole wheat spaghetti 1 minute shy of the package time. It finishes in the sauce, and that's where it picks up the flavor. Save a splash of the pasta water. Toss the drained spaghetti right into the sauce with that splash, and stir until every strand is coated. That starchy water makes the sauce cling instead of slide. Serve it with a little Parmesan over the top. Chunky vegetables, hearty pasta, and a sauce that tastes like Sunday. It reheats well, and like most tomato sauces, it's even better tomorrow. Number 5. Sweet potato and black bean skillet. 1 skillet, 2 colors, and a supper that looks like it came from a nice cafe. Dice 1 large sweet potato into small cubes, skin on. Same rule as the baked potato. The skin is where the good stuff hides. Heat a tablespoon of oil in a large skillet over medium. Add the sweet potato cubes and a diced onion. Let them cook about 10 minutes, stirring now and then, until the potato starts to soften and pick up golden edges. Add half a diced bell pepper. A few minutes more. Now open 1 can of black beans, drained and rinsed, into the skillet. Season it all with cumin, a little chili powder, garlic powder, and black pepper. Stir gentle and let everything warm through together, about 5 minutes. The sweet potato turns creamy, the beans stay tender, and the spices pull the whole pan into one dish. Black beans and a skin-on sweet potato. That's 2 of the best fiber sources in the store, sharing 1 skillet. And the whole pan costs a couple of dollars. A handful of shredded cheese over the top, lid on for 1 minute, and it melts into every corner. Want to dress it up? A fried egg on top turns it into a diner-style supper. A spoonful of sour cream cools it down if the chili powder was feeling brave. Sweet, savory, and filling in a way that surprises people the first time. This one earns a spot in the rotation. Number 6. Old-fashioned broccoli salad. Here's the second salad on our list, and it's the one that disappears first at every gathering. Crunchy, creamy, a little sweet, and no stove required. Cut a large crown of broccoli into small, bite-sized florets. Raw broccoli sounds stubborn, but cut small and dressed right, it turns crisp and friendly.
Into a large bowl with it. Add a handful of raisins, a handful of sunflower seeds, a quarter of a red onion diced fine, and if you like, a few crumbled pieces of cooked bacon. Now the dressing. Half a cup of mayonnaise, or plain Greek yogurt if you keep it around. A tablespoon of vinegar, a spoonful of sugar. Whisk it smooth and pour it over the bowl. Toss until every floret is coated. Cover it and give it at least an hour in the refrigerator. Just like the bean salad, the rest is where the magic happens. The broccoli softens a touch, the raisins plump, and the dressing settles into every corner. Every bite lands different. Crunchy seed, sweet raisin, crisp broccoli, creamy dressing. That's why the bowl empties before the casseroles do. Broccoli brings the fiber, the seeds bring a little protein, and the whole thing keeps for days. Make it once, and you've got a ready side or a light supper waiting all week. Number 7. Hearty lentil stew. If split peas are the famous cousin, lentils are the quiet one who does all the work. No soaking, cooked in half an hour, and about as cheap as dinner gets. Here's what goes in. 1 cup of dried lentils, rinsed. 1 onion, 2 carrots, and 1 potato, all diced. 1 can of diced tomatoes. 4 cups of broth, or water with a bouillon cube. A little garlic powder, black pepper, and a pinch of thyme if you have it. Soften the onion in a little oil at the bottom of a large pot, about 3 minutes. Add the carrots and potato, and let them get friendly for a couple minutes more. Pour in the lentils, the tomatoes, and the broth. Bring it to a boil, then down to a simmer. Lid on 30 to 35 minutes until the lentils are tender and the potato is soft. Give it a stir now and then. Near the end, mash a few spoonfuls against the side of the pot and stir them back in. The stew thickens up into something you could almost stand a spoon in.
Lentils are loaded with fiber and plant protein both, which is why 1 bowl holds you like a much bigger meal, and a whole bag costs less than a cup of coffee. A splash of vinegar at the very end wakes the whole pot up, an old trick that makes people ask what the secret is. Serve it with a slice of soft buttered bread. It freezes without complaint, and it reheats like it was made fresh. Number 8, and here it is, the pie. Old-fashioned chicken pot pie, golden crust on top, creamy chicken and vegetables underneath. The dinner that looks like an occasion and cooks like a weeknight. Here's the easy way. 2 cups of cooked chicken, rotisserie chicken works perfect. 1 bag of frozen peas and carrots, about 2 cups. Butter, flour, broth, and a splash of milk for the sauce. And 1 refrigerated pie crust from the dairy case. Nobody's rolling dough tonight. Melt 3 tablespoons of butter in a deep skillet. Stir in 3 tablespoons of flour and let it cook a minute. Slowly pour in 1.5 cups of chicken broth, whisking the whole time. Add a splash of milk. Keep whisking until it turns into a smooth, creamy gravy. Stir in the chicken and the peas and carrots. A little black pepper, a pinch of thyme. Let it bubble gently for a few minutes until it's thick and glossy. Pour the filling into a pie dish or baking dish. Unroll that crust right over the top. Tuck the edges in and cut 3 little slits in the center so the steam can escape. Into a 400-degree oven, 25 to 30 minutes, until the crust is deep golden. And then comes the moment. The crust crackles when the spoon goes through, and the steam rolls up from the creamy filling underneath. The peas and carrots bring color, sweetness, and their share of fiber to the party. Let it rest 5 minutes before serving, so the filling sets up on the spoon. A pie for dinner on a weeknight. I told you it earned its place. Number 9. Succotash Supper. Here's a dish most of the country forgot, and it deserves better. Corn, butter beans, and a little bacon, all in 1 skillet. It's been feeding families since before any of us were born. Cook 3 or 4 slices of bacon in a large skillet until crisp. Set the bacon aside and leave about a tablespoon of the drippings right where they are. That's the flavor base, and it costs nothing extra. Add 1 diced onion to the skillet. 3 minutes until it softens and picks up all that bacon flavor. Now add 1 can of butter beans, drained. Lima beans if that's the name your store uses. 1 can of corn, drained. And half a cup of water or broth. A little black pepper and a pinch of paprika. Let it all simmer together about 10 minutes until the beans are creamy and the liquid has cooked down into a light glaze. Crumble the bacon back over the top. Butter beans are big, soft, and gentle to eat, and they carry a serious amount of fiber for something so mild. The corn brings sweetness, the bacon brings smoke, and together it tastes like a dish with a long memory. A dash of hot sauce if you like a little spark. A slice of tomato on the side in summer, and it's a complete plate. Cheap, fast, and different from what everyone else is cooking this week. Sometimes the old dishes just need somebody to remember them. Number 10. Beef and barley soup. We finish with the soup that ends the day right. Tender beef, plump barley, and a broth that tastes like it worked all afternoon. Here's what you need. Half a pound of stew beef cut into small bites. Half a cup of pearl barley. 1 onion, 2 carrots, and a stalk of celery diced. 6 cups of beef broth or water with bouillon. A bay leaf, black pepper, and a little garlic powder. Brown the beef in a little oil at the bottom of a large pot. Get some real color on it. Those browned bits are the backbone of the broth. Add the onion, carrots, and celery and let them soften a few minutes. Pour in the broth and scrape up everything from the bottom. Add the barley and the bay leaf. Bring it to a boil, then down to a gentle simmer. Lid on about 45 minutes. The barley is the show here. It starts as hard little pearls, and it swells up plump and chewy, thickening the broth as it goes. Barley is an old-fashioned grain that's full of fiber, and it gives a soup a heartiness that noodles just can't match. Stir it once in a while and add a splash of water if it gets thicker than you like. When the beef is tender and the barley is plump, fish out the bay leaf. Ladle it up hot. Steam off the bowl, a slice of soft bread on the side, and the evening is settled. It's even better tomorrow, and it freezes like a champion. The kind of soup that takes care of the rest of the week for you. So there they are, 10 dinners full of fiber, and not one of them asked you to give up comfort for it. Old soups, loaded potatoes, salads that improve overnight, and a pie that showed up for a weeknight. Fiber keeps a meal with you, and these meals prove it can taste like home while it does. Start with one this week, the split pea soup, the bean salad, or that number 8 pie. Then tell me in the comments which one you're making first. I read every single one. And subscribe and pull up a chair. There's a lot more simple, honest cooking where this came from.